Welcome to the Penny for Our Thoughts podcast, where you can get a third-party opinion on your worries, concerns, or problems that you may have in your life. Don't keep it to yourself. Give some to us. My name is Gerald.
And my name is John, and we are your hosts for Penny for Our Thoughts.
How's it going, John?
It's going well.
It's going well. Dude, I was asleep all day today. It was great.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not just together, just the two of us, right? We have someone
Yeah,
here.
no, we have a very special guest, another longtime friend of both of us here. I've known, well, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Hello, my name is Mac, and I'm excited to be on the show today.
Yeah, I've known Max since like junior high. You've known him since high school.
Since high school, yeah.
So everyone, you know, we're all buddy.
Yeah.
Today I got, I think, four topics lined up that we got to talk about here.
Going a little bit longer. We always started from 3 and now we're...
3, 4. It's hard to narrow it down, man. As soon as I get to 4, I'm like, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, you know, like I'd rather talk about more than less.
That's
right?
true.
So,
yeah. Want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm good.
You ready,
I'm
Mac?
Good.
All right.
You excited to be here?
I am. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Ooh.
All right.
So the first one here, the first topic here is from Any Discussion 2419. The title is, I cheated on my exams and now I don't think I'll ever succeed or be smart. The cheating I did in my pre-university foundation. I highly think I have ADHD and possibly other mental diseases, but I've never been diagnosed. This helps the story because I cheated on my exams due to the fact that I can't ever really focus or study without immediately doing something else and being totally carried away. I do well with classes and I understand the things my lecturers teach, but because the exams are online and totally cheatable, I usually refer to books for specific information that I don't know. For background, I study law, so I mean things like sections, specific legislations, etc. And I got a 4.0 from it. In a specific point of view, I cheated by getting the facts from the book and elaborating based on my understanding. After an interview, now I got into the best uni in my country, but I can't help but think I absolutely don't deserve it. I can't sleep thinking about it. I'll be going against smart people all around, and the fact that I cheated my way through the exams, I think I won't ever be successful. I know it was wrong of me. I will even appreciate a good scolding. But does anyone have any advice at all for me? Will I really be a failure?
Oh, man. That's heavy. Yeah, as the not host, what do you guys think?
Okay, you guys pass the baton right away.
Passing it on, okay.
I wouldn't. It's wrong that you cheated, and it's good that you actually understand that you know that cheating is wrong. I'm sure because you know this guilty feeling, I'm sure you don't want to live through it again. You won't cheat in the future. But saying that, I don't think you should discount your future because you made this one mistake.
100% agree.
That is what I say. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I cheated on tests, right? Once in my life. Like, not anytime recently, anytime, but, back in junior high, probably, high school. I'm sure there's like one quiz, like not like a big major exam, like a diploma exam for high school here.
Mm-hmm.
But for quizzes, yeah, I probably did, right? I don't remember each detail of it, but I did. And did I feel bad? I mean, yeah, at the time, but later on I was like, oh, I mean, I passed, I was happy that I passed, I guess.
Yeah.
But saying that you shouldn't discount your future. I mean, if you think you have some, like if you think you have ADHD or anything like that, like why not get that checked out first and see if you do have it, right? Because you could have a learning disability that you might not know of.
Yep.
Right. So then that could be the root cause of the issues that you think you're having instead of, you just thinking you're just a bad person or don't study or whatever. Find the root cause first. And then once you go into university, I'm sure with that guilty feeling in mind, you don't want to cheat again. I'm going to be optimistic here and be like, I think you'll actually study more in the future. I mean, you might not for all I know, but I'm just going to, go out there and say, I think you'll study.
He got into university now. So hopefully, like, within the first couple of weeks, he'll get the clue that he's not going to be able to get through this without studying, right? But I'm optimistic on his case for a couple of reasons. And I do agree with you to not discount his future. It's number one, he got in with an interview, right? You can't cheat on an interview. It'd be very difficult to cheat on an interview, right? The fact that they let you in because of that interview is a good sign that you may just need a little bit of help in your studies, need to be a little more disciplined on the knowledge side of things as opposed to the understanding, the comprehension side of things. And my second reason is that he backed up his all of his answers with the understanding from what he quote unquote cheated from, right? You can't, especially with law. I think that's what he said.
Yep, law school.
With law, I assume, I'm not a lawyer, I didn't go to law school, but you would probably have to have a pretty deep understanding of whatever it is you're looking at, whatever you're studying, to actually, have a grasp on it. So I don't think he's dumb. So I think he would have a pretty good chance at university if he just works a little bit harder, so he doesn't have to resort to cheating in his exams. And I think one last thing, I guess, is you already got in. Don't quit, right? Just because you don't think you can work hard enough, because you can change that. You can work harder. And like John said, if you're hindered by some sort of learning disability, you can always get that checked out, right? If it's something you're concerned about. But ultimately, you're fine. Don't let it get to you, and make sure it propels you further forward instead of, bringing you down.
I agree about the getting help for the learning disabilities and the possible ADHD. I'm gonna kind of address like the second part that they said. So they said they were worried about not being smart enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone actually feels that. So like, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but like there's something called imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
which I think a lot of people actually have. Like
Very familiar.
And I don't think another thing I actually was going to address was I don't think you need to think about it as, am I smart enough, but am I going to be able to work hard enough? Because university it doesn't matter how smart you are going in. Like it's if you don't have the work ethic to back up like how smart you are or aren't, it won't matter in the end, because in the end you're going to fail out if you don't work hard enough. So like I think part of it is like, do you have the work ethic to go into this and show off your work ethic basically?
And I think this might be a mean thing to say, but part of me wants him to fail at something.
Oh, that's definitely going to happen.
Because failure is the best teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's say he doesn't work hard, like he didn't cheat, but he just didn't work hard like he did already, and then he goes with that attitude to university, he's gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like, he might not, he might not, but if he does fail, I think that failure will propel him to a better attitude towards being a student and, actually putting the hard work and effort into his studies. So part of me, it might sound a little bit mean, but I think if he fails, it's going to make him a better person. But, kind of still say it. Don't discount your future because you just cheated on one exam or one test, right? I think your future is bright ahead of you, right? You got into university. You said you were studying law, and I guess in high school he's studying law.
I'm not sure how his school system works, but he says he studies law.
He studies law.
And then he get into university.
Maybe it was like a pre-law program or something like that.
Maybe he was studying something to get into law school.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, if you're studying law, which not a lot of people can do in the first place, right? You're already smart enough to, than the average person. Like I didn't study law. I'm intrigued by it, but I didn't study it, right? So if you're already studying those things, you're probably, still smart.
Yeah.
Right. You just don't want to put the work in, whether it could be something like ADHD or, you just are lazy.
Yeah.
But I think you should get that tested first.
I will also say that, like, at all cost, avoid doing it again. Because if you do get caught, your career is basically over. You're not going to be, you're going to be, first of all, kicked out of school, and then you're not going to be allowed into any other prestigious or any other school, really.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I was going to say as well that if you keep doing it and succeeding, that's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, that's
just
one
time you're gonna do it, and someone's gonna catch you, or you're gonna fail, or whatever, and all of those little cheating sessions that you did is all gonna add up, and everything's gonna come falling down, right? So don't let it turn into a habit. I'm hoping that his, like you said, like his guilt and possibly like failing at something or encountering some hardship will kind of kick him into gear. And hopefully it doesn't have to come down to like a really big failure, a really big mistake. And it sounds like he's very aware that what he did is not, it's not cool. Like, it's not good.
And that's the most important part. Like, he actually admitted that he is in the wrong cheating, right? Not a lot of people do that, right? I guarantee you, when I was in junior high, I cheated. I was like, damn, I got away with it. All right, I got a good grade. I'm good to go now. Right? I just knew it was wrong, right? So I didn't do it again. But you stood up, stood up and said, this is wrong. I don't want to do it again. And you're just worried about other things, right? So don't let the cheating and what you did really affect your outcome of your life. It's pretty much my last sentence on this concern, I think.
Yeah.
I will say though, along with the get help basically soon, just right away, as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Get into some sort of therapy, talk to your doctor, whatever it is. Because again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert. It sounds like there's other underlying issues here. And those should probably be addressed first.
100%. Yeah. I think the main takeaway here is don't throw away the fact that you got your ticket into a really good university. Don't let this one thing, like, obviously, I feel like it was a pretty big thing he cheated on.
It sounds like
it sounds like it. 100% sounds like it.
So don't divulge that, maybe. I mean, I don't know if when it comes down to it, that's the tricky part, is if anytime in the future, like, he gets questioned for it, what does he do?
I would say just come out better from this.
No, but like, if somewhere along his, like, educational or
then his career's over for sure.
Yeah, right. If it comes out, he's like, "How did you pass this exam? Like, what is this question on this exam?" And he's like, "I don't remember."
But I will bet money is not going to come up. I'll be willing to bet money that no one's going to bring that up after it's done.
Maybe not directly, but like something comes up that contains information that would have been in the exam. For example, right? Like, this was on the exam that you took to get in here. How do you not know this? Like,
but okay. I forget exams the moment I step out of the exam room. So if they're like, yo, what was on question 36? I'm like, I don't know. Right? That's a completely fair answer. And, if you just play oblivious, no one's going to find out. Just be like, I don't know. I forgot. Right? And if you're right, someone might ask, this was on this exam. You just took the exam. How do you not know? I'll be like, dude, I don't remember all this, nonsense. Right? Do you remember the exams, like, questions as soon as you read the exam room? No, I don't even know that.
Well, I'm not. I don't know the specifics of exam, right? But I'm not talking like specific questions on exam, like word for word. But if there's broad concepts that he didn't understand that he had to cheat on, that come up later in his career, how would that be handled?
Well, from the post, it sounds like he, from the question, it sounds like he understood the material. He just didn't memorize what he needed to. I think part of law school, at least where we are here, from other people who I know that have gone to law school, is I've heard that every single exam is an open book exam, because they don't need you to memorize the cases or whatever. They need you to show your understanding of applying whatever you learned to whatever it is that you're looking at. Like like in engineering school, you don't need to memorize all these like formulas.
Right.
You need to know what they do. You need to know when to use them, and you need to know how to apply it.
Yeah, I guess it won't be such a big of a deal, because he seems to have an understanding, at least, of what he didn't memorize, what he needed to look up.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and be optimistic here that what he cheated on wasn't like a fundamental concept that he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like it wouldn't come up. That's just me. I'm willing to bet money that it won't come up.
Okay.
Right. And even in my career, right? Like, yeah, I learned like fundamental things, but like they still teach you the fundamental things when I started my main career, right? They still went back to the basics. Yeah, you should know some like real fundamentals, right? But they didn't ask me the nitty gritty. They're like, oh, okay. I just taught me what I need to know, and that was it. They still taught me over again. So
I think the fact that he passed the interview is a big tell that he kind of has a grasp on whatever it is he's going into.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know, right? So I'm bringing up the concern because, like, if it somehow, in whatever universe comes up, he might be screwed. But just take your ticket to this ride and run with it, man.
And get help.
Get help if you need it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's I think the big thing.
Yeah, I think that wraps up the first one.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, one
Nice
down.
and easy. Yeah.
Nice and
Wow.
easy.
Well, we always have a habit of going from easy to hardest, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we might be jumping around this one because they're all like different levels,
Okay.
and they're kind of like they're not all related to the same sort of, stream.
Mhm.
You'll see.
Yeah, we can mix it up.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the second one from Rainbows and Kitties. It goes, brother and sister-in-law are upset that I said my niece might have a girlfriend in the future. They said that I need to respect their parenting. I need advice on whether to push it or not. I'll try to keep this short. During dinner, someone said something about my niece, 3 years old, finding a boyfriend. I said, or a girlfriend. My brother and sister-in-law were not happy. Sister-in-law scoffed and said, we aren't doing that. I pushed it a little at the time, but ultimately just switched subjects. Later on that night, we get a group text from sister-in-law that essentially said that we need to respect their parenting and not challenge them in front of their kids, and that we need to watch what we say around my niece because she's young and impressionable. The next day, I crafted a text that said that I will absolutely respect their parenting and not challenge them in front of my niece again. I also explained that I was hurt and upset by her comment because it made it seem like she thinks being gay is a bad thing, and that it would be unfortunate if my niece was gay. My brother lost it, texted 5 consecutive times claiming that everyone is too sensitive nowadays and that I'm trying to push something on my niece, and insisting that sister-in-law isn't homophobic and that I should apologize for accusing her of that. So what do I do? What do I do now? Do I drop it?
Okay. He's saying that everyone's too sensitive, but they're the ones freaking out about a nonchalant comment, it seems like. Anyways, my thought on this is it's a 3-year-old. Just drop it. The parents, I think they're overreacting. It's just a comment. What does it matter? Also, yes, they are clearly homophobic. But I think just drop it, let it go. It's a 3-year-old. Stop sexualizing a 3-year-old. It's weird. It's gross.
Talking about getting a boyfriend or girlfriend at 3 years old. Ultimately, I respect that she's standing by her beliefs. And I do think there's potential for overreaction on both sides. But at the risk of potentially putting a wedge between the family, I think just drop it. Although I don't like how the parents reacted. I personally don't like that they went off. I feel like it could have handled. They could have gotten their point across without getting all bothered by it. Because ultimately, it won't even matter what they think. I hope that when the 3-year-old comes of age, when they make their own choices, right? I hope they won't be controlling their kid to that extent in the future. But I think that's beside the point. In this situation, I think it may feel right to keep fighting for it, but then it's not worth
It's not worth the long-term pain.
It's
not worth potentially putting a tear in your family's relationship.
I'm just trying to recap what you just said. So they're having dinner, and then they were mentioning that the daughter would have a boyfriend, and then the sister-in-law, I guess, the aunt of the child is or a girlfriend, and then the parents just blew up.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then she defended herself.
It sounds like they blew up after the fact. They made it clear that they didn't like what she said at the dinner, but then after the dinner they were texting.
Yeah, they made a bigger deal out of it afterwards, it looks like.
So I'm just curious what you guys think of it. Do you think it's wrong for the parents to tell the aunt of the child to say that, oh, I don't want to hear that? Do you think that's the wrong part?
Not necessarily, because you can believe whatever you want, right? Because how they handled it was that they got mad about it, right?
But didn't they get mad after the aunt texted the parents? That's the vibe I'm getting. I think the first original conversation.
It sounds like they were mad after the dinner party
right away.
I
I was getting a different impression that it was more of a talk, and then she defended herself through text, and then that's why the parents got mad. That's what I thought, but I could be wrong.
I think the point at which people got mad was when the aunt, the person who sent this, texted her brother saying that she was hurt and upset by her sister-in-law's comment because it made it seem like she thinks being gay is a bad thing, and that it would be a bad thing if her niece was gay. And then that's when the brother blew up.
In that I think it's okay for the brother to blow up a little bit, because right now his sister is assuming crappy things about his wife. It was an assumption because she said, "Oh, I just felt bad because I was hurt by my sister-in-law's comment because it feels like if I think it feels like she's not happy that if my niece was gay, right?"
But then what was the reaction for her reaction? I guess. Like, sorry, what was the reason for her reaction then?
Whose reaction?
The mother.
The mother.
Yeah.
And I'm not that. Aside that, it's just that the Rainbow is assuming that her sister-in-law is homophobic. I think that crossed the line. Whether or not the sister-in-law is actually homophobic or not. Like, why are you assuming things when you don't know for sure?
They were assuming. Like, it was pretty much implied. Like, so they could you read that first part again? It sounded like there was something like, "You're not bringing into this my family."
Yeah, maybe I missed something.
During dinner, someone said something about my niece finding a boyfriend. I said, or a girlfriend. My brother and sister-in-law were not happy. Sister-in-law scoffed and said, we aren't doing that.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. It sounds like that's the reason she blew up on the aunt afterwards, which is Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First thought, I agree with Mac. Like, again, the kid's 3 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we talking
there's
about
no need
boyfriend
about,
or girlfriend?
But that happened already, right?
And if the sister-in-law scoffed at that, that's completely in her right. If I'm not saying it's wrong or right, I'm just saying, like, if she responded in a weird way because she felt that like the Rainbow was, maybe saying that your niece or okay, how do I reword this so it makes sense? If the mom scoffed at her, I think it's okay. I don't think that's a big deal, because maybe that mom's belief is maybe she is. You're right, like Max said, maybe she is homophobic, right? And if you make that kind of comment in front of her, maybe she would be offended. My question is, why make that comment in the first place is my thing. Like, why talk about boyfriends and girlfriends? But again, that's past.
Yeah.
Right. But then if the mom is like, yeah, I don't appreciate your comment, I think that's fine. Right. Maybe she is homophobic. Maybe she's not, she doesn't believe in same-sex marriage like all of us here do. Right. So then for her to be offended, I can see that why she got offended. And then she wasn't happy. And then furthermore, she literally at that point, accused or assumed whatever that her Rainbow sister-in-law was homophobic. Then the brother blew up. So by the way it's going, I could see why it kind of all happened. If you're looking for what I would do in that situation, I would drop it for one thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to lead anywhere healthy if you keep going.
Exactly.
Right. But what I'm saying is what the mom did, like the 3-year-old mom did, isn't like really wrong. It's her opinion, it's her beliefs. Like, why question that? It's my thing. Right. No one's going to come to me and say same-sex marriage is wrong. I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm so offended by you. Right. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to be like, okay, that's what you believe. I believe it's fine. Right. But if you believe that, that's up to you. Right. I'm not going to get mad because they told me their opinion.
Yep. No, I 100% agree with that. I think this is something that doesn't need to get escalated anymore. Because, and I could be completely out of left field on this, but they're the parents, right? They get to decide how they raise their kid.
Yeah.
And the aunt, I feel like has less right to push her beliefs onto that child.
I don't think she was pushing her beliefs, though. I think she was just making
She was getting there.
Like a joke.
She was getting there.
I don't think it was a joke.
I don't think she was pushing her belief, though.
Not during dinner.
Because, no.
Not during dinner. My point is she was texting them like, hey, you're raising this kid in a world or you're raising this kid with the idea that being gay is bad. And that's to the point where she's like preaching. She's not preaching, but she's pushing her beliefs on people that clearly don't share them, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's where I feel like the brother got mad.
That is where the brother got mad. It has lots of potential to blow up, depending on how passionate these people are about their beliefs, right? But I don't think it's worth pursuing because number one, Rainbow, like, I don't mean to sound harsh. It's not your kid, right? They're the parents. They get to decide. And unfortunately, if your beliefs don't line up with theirs, that's just going to have to be like a little bit of a pain point between you and your family, I think.
Mhm.
Right. I feel like that's pretty common in many families where beliefs don't line up.
And let's realistically, let's say we go down that rabbit hole and the parents are against, same-sex relationships. What are you gonna do about it? Like,
Exactly.
what is
Yeah.
the aunt gonna physically do? Yeah, you could be the cool aunt that actually accepts your niece, but that's about it. You're never
Yeah.
gonna change the parents' opinions and their beliefs, right?
And I don't think that should be the goal.
Yeah.
Right. And when the kid comes of age and decides that, her parents' beliefs she doesn't agree with, then at that point you can be someone who she goes to, right? But up until then, I don't think like of course you're going to be part of the child's life because you're their aunt. Yeah.
it sounds like it's their aunt.
But it's their parents who get the final say up until they're 18, right? Until something, for whatever reason, they don't get to be her guardians anymore. But like, assuming everything is like traditional, what happens is that parents raise their child, right? So it's unfortunate you don't agree. But at the end of the day, unless you want to really drive a wedge between you and your family members, I would just drop it.
Yeah, I agree with the dropping it.
What, do you think she should fight?
Huh?
Do you think she should
I
fight for her beliefs?
I think you should stick. Well, so I think homophobia is wrong. Obviously, that's what I believe. But like, I don't think fighting about this is gonna lead to anything. When the kid does grow up and they decide what their sexuality is, their parents can't control that, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if there is a problem, it's gonna have to be figured out later. It's not a problem for now.
Kid's 3.
The only side I can see of the aunt or Rainbow side is like she doesn't want her niece to live in a unhealthy family if she turns out to be
Yeah.
gay, and then her parents don't accept her. I think that's the only way that I can see like her side, and I can see why she brought it up. But again, even if that happened, what could you possibly do?
Yeah.
Right.
I think the best thing she could do if that happens is be a support for this kid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. And trying to change the parents' opinion at this point is not gonna. It's only gonna make them resent the idea more, because it sounds like a pain point. Like by the way that they reacted, it was instantly like, oh, we're rejecting that idea, right? If you bring it up more, it's just gonna be. It's not gonna go anywhere healthy, and it's like it's not the idealist point of view where you're like fight for your beliefs, blah, 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 but it's not gonna be healthy.
Yeah.
At the end of it, right? Like you were saying.
And then this kid's just getting dragged in the middle of this for no reason.
But she's just 3. She's like, I want to play with my toys. Like, why are we talking about this
He's
right
like,
now?
Mama, why aren't you giving me my bottle?
Do 3-year-olds need bottles?
I'm not.
I don't know. I don't have a kid.
I don't have a kid either. What I was gonna say is what was I gonna mention? So it was dinner. Parents were unhappy.
Yep.
Then Rainbow heard that, didn't say anything, and then eventually texted the brother and saying, "Hey, I was unhappy with what the parents said." Is that what?
No. It was dinner, and then the parents started a group text with Rainbow saying, "Hey, what you did, we didn't like what you did, and you need to respect our parenting." And then Rainbow replied with, "Yes, I'll respect your parenting, but I didn't appreciate the fact that your wife, my sister-in-law, implied that being gay was bad."
Yeah, okay. That you stepped over the line. Like just you should have left it as like, yeah, I respect your parenting. Right. And whatever you believe after that, then yeah, just do it silently. That's what you believe, right? Don't push it onto other people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying by she was on the verge of pushing her own beliefs, right? And it wasn't accepted and she kept going.
Like you have a conversation, but in that text wise, it definitely felt like she was kind of shaming the sister-in-law, saying, hey, well, like it feels like, you're homophobic here and I don't appreciate that. Like that's the idea I'm getting from that text when she said in that way. Right? Like why that sentence wouldn't have led anywhere productive.
Definitely wouldn't have. Like it's unfortunate because it's just a rift that's there that that's there now, and it's going to be awkward if it ever comes up again. But I don't know. Unless you really believe in this, you want to fight for it to the point where you could like rip your family apart, right?
Again, you're literally burning a bridge when there's nothing
Yeah.
going on. Like, yes, I think if you want to fight for it when it actually happens.
Yeah, fight for it when it's relevant.
Yeah.
When it's relevant. The kid is 3.
Yeah. Because if let's say Rainbow believes in same-sex marriage and someone else doesn't, you just saying you should believe what I believe isn't going to change anything. So it's a worse idea. It's just not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
Right. But once there's something involved between those two people, then it's a conversation that can actually happen and hopefully lead to a productive ending. But nothing happened. We're all making assumptions here.
Yeah.
It's a 3-year-old kid. So why are we talking about that?
I think that the 3-year-old just became fodder for a bigger conversation, I think.
And that's stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
3-year-old is an innocent 3-year-old, and it's a topic of an argument between aunt and dad.
Yeah.
That's so dumb, right? So it's just, again, I would say just cut it out. Just say you're sorry, right? It felt like you were pushing the beliefs, right? Just say, hey, I respect your parenting decision, and I was, you do you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I hope we could be a good family again.
Yeah. And if it was in a completely different context, then yeah, fight for it.
Yeah.
But if it's regarding their kid, I feel like you don't have as much of a place there.
I would say deal with it when it comes up. Like
Yeah.
the kid's a teenager, turns out to be gay, and their parents don't accept them, then you come in and support.
That could be a problem too, though. You need to respect why are you undermining our parenting?
But again, cross that bridge when you get to
Exactly.
it. Don't
It's
just
a 3-year-old.
yeah. When they don't cross it when you don't need to.
That's true. All right. Shall we move on?
All right.
Cool.
Concern number 3.
Concern number 3. This one is from Rose on Quartz. I, 27 female, was recently dumped and am having a hard time with male friends shooting their shot during my recovery period. I don't know if this is even something to complain about, but I find that it bothers me slightly, so I thought I would ask you lovely people to help me process my feelings on the matter. I was dumped about a month ago and have since done fairly well for myself. Moved out, got a new job, a breakup kitten, and a rebound to help me get through. All in all, I feel fairly well adjusted for a girl whose heart was ripped out and trod over thoroughly. My problem is, since the breakup, my male friends have been, in their words, shooting their shot to hit on me while I'm still healing. I've reached out to a few people I thought were really genuine, true friends, and almost every man on that list has sent me a variation of, well, can it be my turn? I haven't been single since I was 19, so I'm really taking this time to focus on myself and become the person I want to be when I meet my forever person. It just kind of sucks that these people I've known and spent time with for almost a decade are making advances when I'm nowhere near the time or place for that. Most of them are very sweet, minus the coworker who just sent me drooly face emojis. But it's hard knowing that someone you considered a good friend has been waiting for you to turn single so they can try to slide into your DMs. Any insight on handling this would be appreciated, as it seems rather out of left field for me.
First of all, I'm going to say congratulations on your. It sounds like you're having a healthy recovery from all of this. Treat your cat well. Now, to get to the actual issue, I don't know. I'm sorry this is happening. It sucks that we don't actually have a female voice on here right now.
That's true.
That
That
would
would have
help.
been a good one for.
That's pretty crappy of the guys to do. I would say tell them to back off. You might lose some friendships here, but I don't know. If they were just if they were only friends with you to get in your pants, were they really friends with you to begin with? That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then your coworkers, they're just out of line. Like, you keep it professional. That's not hard to do.
I feel like from experience and from like living almost my entire life online, I think I've found that it's harder for guys to have that clear boundary of friends and friends with benefits, and further than that, like a romantic relationship. So it's very clearly displayed here, but it could very well be that the guy thinks they can stay friends even after, maybe they're thinking they could be the rebound, right? But it sounds to me like these guys don't have that clear boundary yet. And like you said, Mac, just make the boundary clear. Be like, no, this is not happening. And keep in mind that some guys will think that even after hitting on you, you're going to be good friends. Like they don't think of you as either a friend or a romantic partner. Like I can't speak for them, obviously, but I feel like that's a pretty common mindset.
Can I ask one question? You said she got a kitten and a rebound?
And a rebound.
So she got a guy.
I'm assuming that's what that means.
Yeah. Okay, so then I think that changes everything. I think that rebound changes everything. I think once
why does that change everything?
Because that's what I think. I think guys are dumb. Let's get that out there, okay? Once the guys find out that she had a fling with another guy, they're gonna think that she's over the relationship. They're not gonna look deep into details and just be like, "Oh man, like I was just a rebound. Let's just like, just keep it cool." They're not gonna think like that, okay? They're gonna be like, "Oh, so she actually met another guy. Oh, maybe since that was just a fling, maybe I could be the real deal." Right? And I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here too, is maybe one of those guys is your future like husband. Like we don't know. You don't know that. Right? They might be flirting with you because that's kind of how any relationship really starts. Right? It doesn't just go like, oh, boom, I like you. Let's start a relationship. Boom, let's start. Like it always start with that whole like getting to know them phase, flirting phase, and then eventually a relationship happens. So I think they are just trying their chance because you're right. You said she was single since she was 19 and she's 27 now.
She hasn't been single since she was 19.
Yeah, and she's 27 now.
Yeah.
So 8 years she was taken, right? And they didn't do anything because obviously they shouldn't do anything, but they didn't do anything. So now because she had the rebound, right? Maybe the guys thought she was okay because if she was sulking and depressed and super sad and she didn't meet anybody and then the guys did this, then yes, I would be like, you know what? These guys are in the wrong. These guys need to just like stop thinking with their pants. So they gotta just, think with their brain. But then now because of that rebound, I think that changed a lot of things because the guys are going to be like, yo, she seems available. Like she seems like she's okay. At this point, the guys would be like, all right, since she's okay, let me try my chance. Right. And if she was in a relationship for 8 years, she was never single for 8 years, obviously she's probably a catch. Right. Nobody if nobody liked this person, she would be in a relationship for 8 years. Right. So her friends or whatever, the guys, they want to date her. And I think it's a little unfair to say that they're just trying to, when's my turn? Yeah. Right. Because maybe you're right. Maybe one of those people is your future husband, but you're not giving them the chance because you just think they just want to take their chance.
Well, it sounds like she wants to work on herself right now. That's what it seems to me like from the.
And I think John debunked that.
Yeah.
Because the two issues here were that she's not ready to date or to be with other people. And the second issue is that she had hoped her friends were her friends because they want to be friends with her, not because they want to be in a relationship with her. Number one, John debunked by saying, okay, she had a fling.
I don't think that debunks it.
It doesn't debunk it, but it gives reason for the other guys for their actions, right? That's
what they're thinking, but I'm thinking about it from her point of view. Like you can do whatever you want. You want to go out, meet people, just have one night stands, whatever. You want to have flings, do whatever you want. Right. So that doesn't necessarily mean that like you're fully healed up or whatever.
Yes.
And ready for your next relationship. And I understand that that's from the guy's point of view that it might not seem that way. Right. I understand you're saying that, but yeah, but she clearly doesn't want to just jump into another relationship right now. That's what it seems like to me.
That's exactly what it is.
Fine. Yeah. But I'm not saying that's not what she's saying. I completely agree with you. That's what she's saying. But what she portrays to other people and what other people might think are completely different than what she actually thinks. That's what I'm saying.
The way she's saying it is that she hasn't told all of these guys that, hey, I'm not ready for a relationship. And they keep asking her to be their girlfriend, right? The way she said is that there's all of the guys that were around her when she wasn't single are now suddenly like, oh, she's suddenly single. Like I want my chance. And I think John's right in that her having a rebound, having that fling or whatever could have been a green light to all of her friends that actually secretly liked her. Right. Mm-hmm. So I can't blame them for that. But if this was a situation where she's very clearly stated that that was a rebound, I don't want a relationship, and they still keep coming at her, then definitely they would be in the wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like you gave, I'm not blaming you, but you might have given off the wrong impression to these guys because of that rebound.
Yeah.
Right? Like back in my personal experience, like when I, ended a relationship, like a long-term relationship, I didn't meet anyone for like over a year. Right? And that like obviously, a lot of girls don't like me in the first place, but
Yikes.
but saying that I didn't give up if someone did, I didn't give up the wrong impression to those girls.
Yeah.
Right? That's probably zero, but I'm just saying if I didn't give up those impressions is what I'm saying. But once you had that, I think that rebound is a key word that you had, and what you did is that your actions could have showed these guys that you were ready to mingle, and because you did it.
I think what she's being disappointed by is that a lot of these guys were just friends with her in the hopes of potentially someday getting in a relationship with her, right? She wanted something platonic.
Yeah. I think that's pretty disappointing.
Wait, you think that's disappointing on the guys, or you think
on the guys? Yeah.
I think that's a little disappointing on how she thinks of her friends.
Well,
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like,
Because the guy's actions of like saying like, when is it my turn, kind of shows that like that's all they were really looking for.
So we're going with the idea that she portrayed herself in the wrong light.
Well,
right? So the guys
I
think that way.
That's a separate issue.
I
Yes.
think that she should have made it clear that like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, and like, yeah, I think that's a separate issue. But like, I don't think it's wrong for her to like have flings and stuff.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying, I think is a little bit disappointing is how you think of your friends and saying that because your friends started flirting with you, you're disappointed in them because you only want a platonic thing. I understand what you're saying on that, but you portrayed yourself in the wrong light. So your friends that are guys obviously hit on you and try to, flirt with you and stuff like that. But don't be disappointed because, I mean, let's say for the whole 8 years you guys have been friends, right? Or let's say for 4 years, half the relationship you've been friends. Right? You're going to discount the 4 years of friendship because he started flirting with you when you were single and you portrayed yourself in the wrong light and the guys could have thought that?
I wasn't saying like stop being friends with them. I'm saying like make it clear like what you want. Like, yeah, like you don't want to be in a relationship right now. Whether something happens between you and this person is a whole nother matter. And like, I think make it clear first, because it sounds like it wasn't clear enough that like she doesn't want anything and these guys are just like being like, when is it my turn? Okay,
yeah, I think the one where I kind of got the miscommunication was because you saw that you were disappointed in the guys for flirting with her, but I don't think there's anything disappointing about that if what we talked about happened, right? They have every right to flirt with you, right? Because you've been single after 8 years. Right. And I'm sure these guy friends aren't just your friends. So maybe they can have their shot in the future. No guy does that. If he does that, dude, I give him respect. He's playing the long game pretty hard. That may never happen. Right? Like, who plays? Assuming, she was in a relationship for 8 years. She met this guy in 4 years. That means he played a long game for 4 years. He's like, damn, I hope in 4 years later I'm gonna see this girl's be single again. Nobody does. No guy does that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's too much. Okay, to a point I can understand, but that's too much. And then if you think you're disappointed in the guys, or like Rose is disappointed in the guys because they just waited that long so she was single, I think that's completely wrong. Completely. No guy does that. No guy's that like diligent, dude. I wouldn't wait 4 years for a girl. Like what? I mean, like wait 4 years for a girl that's in a relationship? That's a little too much.
Yeah, if they've been together for 8 years, why would you go in there and be like, oh man, 4 more years? Right. But I think she's like, I'm like putting words into her mouth at this point, but I feel like she's disappointed that the fact that, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. She's disappointed in the fact that they're not just friends. They're friends until, she's single. And then suddenly they want something else from her. Like, she wants people to be purely her friends. And the fact that this is all coming out now that she's suddenly single, she's disappointed that they had ulterior motives. Maybe not ulterior motives, but they had intentions further than being just friends with her.
Well, I don't see like what is necessarily like bad about that. Like I said, one of these friends could be your future husband.
Well, like
We
she
never know.
wants the support right now to like help herself recover, right?
Yes, and if
like-
like you said, Mac, if she was like, hey, I want time to recover, I want time for myself, I want to work on myself, and then after the guys did this, then yes, I would agree with you. The guys are on the wrong side, and I would be disappointed in the guys and their actions. But I don't think anything in the concern said that she blatantly said, hey, I'm
Yep.
working on myself. All she did, all the guys know, and again, I'm speaking from the guy's perspective, is that she had a fling with some other guy, right? So she may be open.
Well, maybe that's part of her like recovery process.
But she didn't claim that. She never explicitly said that. I don't think anyone would assume like,
Well, I feel like
oh,
we're just putting her words in her mouth now.
exactly. But you can't say that. Well, you can't assume that the guys would know that that's part of her process.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't-
why
you
I
can't
think you
assume
need to
that
make
either.
it like. That's why I think like you got to set the boundaries.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
haven't been set here.
And she did say she was like disappointed in her guy friends, right? Yeah, right. I don't think you should be disappointed. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
That's my thoughts. I don't think there's any reason for disappointment on the guys. They've been your friends for however long you've been friends for, right?
And one of the final sentences here was, most of them are very sweet, but it's hard knowing that someone you considered a good friend has been waiting for you to turn single so they can try to slide into your DMs. And I think, like you said, I don't think they were waiting. I don't think they became friends with you with the set goal of like, oh, let's wait till she's single,
Yeah.
But I get that that's why you would think that. I understand why she would think that.
Yeah.
But it's a big assumption and it's a negative assumption you're putting on your friends. And it could be because you're going through a hard time. You're thinking of all the negative things anyway. And that led you to negative thoughts about your friends, saying that, oh, maybe there's waiting for me to be single. I can see that. I can 100% understand if that was the case. But I'm telling you right now that, one, they weren't waiting for that long. And two, they're not like, they didn't do any actions that should be disappointing to you. Unless, like we talked about, you blatantly said, I don't want anybody. I don't want to be in a relationship. I want time for myself.
Yeah. And I think, I don't think, number one, it's hard pressed to call in an assumption because they were hitting on her. Right.
Mhm.
So she has, I guess, evidence of them wanting to get with her. Right. And I think the idea, and this is where it's kind of polarizing right now, the idea that your guy friends, as a girl, your guy friends are all hitting on you as soon as you're single, despite you only thinking of them as friends. Like it's disappointed that your idea of them is shattered now because they start hitting on you. Your idea of them as like good friends, supportive, blah, 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 friends is now, not, it's not who they are to you anymore because now they're trying to hit on you. Right.
I think once the boundaries are set, like you'll know who your real friends are, I guess. Like some will stick around, some might not. And I don't think that's your fault I don't know.
No, it's no one's fault. Like if you catch feelings, you catch feelings.
Yeah.
Like what are you going to do?
I will say though about the coworker, like
No, the coworker is
the coworker's just an
Okay,
idiot.
yeah,
Like,
I would
are
agree
a
with you
f-
on that.
Are you a moron? Like
yeah. The
But
coworker is
Going back to Gerald's topic, like, why can't the friends try? Right? I mean, if you guys have been friends, that means your personalities match at the very least. Right? Because if you don't personally match, you're not going to be friends in the first place. Right? So, like I said, why can't the guys try and maybe even give them a chance if they're a nice enough person and so on and so forth. Because again, they could be your future husband. You just don't know it yet. Because clearly the guy you've been dating for 8 years, if it was one relationship, clearly that wasn't the guy. He left. Right? So
or
maybe
you
one
left,
of these,
whatever.
or who left or whatever.
Oh, she was dumped. Never mind.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. So then maybe one of these guys will stick around for the long run.
I think it's just the fact that the relationship changed. The dynamic changes now, right? Because friends is definitely different from romantic partner.
Yes.
And she likes them as friends, and she's disappointed that they have different views of her as she does of them.
Yeah, but that's guys, dude. That's literally guys.
That's a cop out, though. In my
But
opinion, that's
it's
a cop
true
out.
though. It's true, right? If again, I'm not speaking for the whole, male side of the human race.
Yeah.
But if a guy sees a, attractive girl, he's gonna want to try to, either hook up with her or like start dating her in a relationship, right?
And it's not.
I disagree on that. I think you can be platonic friends with your attractive friends without trying to like go after them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's like 100% of the time, but I'm saying it happens a lot than most people think is what I'm saying. You're right. I think a male and a female could be friends. I think there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you guys haven't been friends for like a considerable amount of time, right? If it's even for a couple of years, I think it could happen. Is what I'm saying.
It's a very polarizing topic. I've seen enough videos of random people getting asked, do you think males and females can be friends? The majority of the guys are like, no. Oh, actually, I don't even know if that's true, but it's very like, it's definitely not consistent between guys and girls.
Yeah, like even for me, I think it's hard for a guy and a girl to be really, really good friends.
Yeah.
Like I have some really like girls that are really good friends, and I'm kind of hypocritical saying that, but I have very few. Right? It's like I can count on my fingers few. Right? So I can see why people are saying that it's hard for a male and a female to be truly friends.
Yeah. To stay friends.
Yeah.
And only friends.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think as long as you draw the boundary, like you might be a little bit disappointed in what your friend's intentions are, because I mean that's your belief, right? But as long as you draw the boundary there, assuming that they're all good people, that should be enough to quote unquote handle the situation, right? Because they don't know. I'm assuming you haven't told all of them where you are, that you're not done healing, you're not done recovering, and whether or not that's what they assumed is a totally different question. But as long as they know if some part of them is actually your friend, they should just back off and respect that.
And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to be optimistic again. I think majority of them, maybe like 95% of the guys would be like, okay.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm not going to discount them. I mean, I'm not going to say there won't be any. I have a feeling there will be some.
Coworker.
And then, yeah, coworker. And then
really
at that point, you realize who's your real friends and who's not your real friends.
Yeah.
Even if all of them hit on you or flirted with you.
Yeah, because I feel like there can be a certain level of flirting between male and females and have them still be friends.
Yeah.
Flirting it can be like completely harmless, right?
Mm-hmm. But, I think that.
Yeah. Wow. That was a lot more, a lot more discussion than I thought there would be.
Last one, right?
This is the last one.
All right.
This is the last one. This one is from Stay Behind the Pines, and it goes, I'm 33 female. I'm marrying my fiance, 30 male, who was supposed to be a booty call. And now I don't know what to say in my vows or our wedding speech. So my fiance and I met last summer. We met on a dating app. I was not looking for a relationship. I hadn't been burned by anyone. I had been single for 2 years. I was just finally at a place where I was content not dating and only having casual sex. So 3 weeks before my birthday, I got COVID. I went on dating apps, as a lot of us did during quarantine, to chat with people and just pass time. I figure I could have a few dates lined up when I got better and tested negative. Well, I met a guy, and he also has COVID and is also in a 2-week quarantine until he gets better. We chat a little. I'm not super into him. He wasn't super into me, not attraction-wise. He was hot, just wasn't much to talk about considering we were both sick and who knew if we could actually meet. Well, we both finally got better, tested negative, but there was a second lockdown in my state. Everything had opened up pretty much a month before I got sick. Then we had a second lockdown. That happened to fall on my birthday. So I knew I was out of luck. But then I remembered the guy I was talking to. I knew he was negative. I knew he hadn't seen anyone, and I knew he was safe. So I asked if he wanted to hang out with me for my birthday. He agreed. I wasted no time. I jumped his bones. We had sex for like 2 days straight. We had nowhere to go.
Congratulations.
We had nowhere to go and nothing to do. That was our relationship for the first month, at least. Just lots of amazing sex. We didn't really talk much. Just ate and watched TV and had sex. It was nice. We both couldn't go back to work until the quarantine ended, so every weekend he would come up and we would hook up. I didn't want a relationship, but he did. So I said, if you want to date, then we got to show each other our true selves. Show me why I should date you, and I'll show you if I'm someone you would actually want to date. He did. I did. We fell in love. Madly. We are now over a year later and just as in love and giddy as the first day I met him. But although I think our relationship is hella romantic and sweet, I don't think it's appropriate to tell at our wedding. I also can't lie because our close friends know the real story. How do I word the beginning of our romance to sound appropriate for our conservative guests? Thank you. First of all, I think the whole middle of that was just bragging, but
Yeah. Congratulations.
Okay.
Really happy for you.
What are you guys' thoughts?
I think well, in the middle of a quarantine, and after having COVID, I guess, good for you. You found someone that you're happy with and you're willing to marry. And I think as for what to put in the vows, like put in what's special about this relationship. Say something like you guys met on Tinder. That's fine. A lot of like Tinder, I don't know what other dating apps there are. Bumble.
I don't know very many.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, those are pretty common now. A lot of people meet on there. A lot of people get married. I think it's fine to say that like you met on the app or whatever, and then you got to know each other.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell everyone about your sexcapades. Like your close
Month-long.
friends know. That's great. Tell them, like, there's a lot of people that are going to be at this wedding, like that are not going to want to know about all of the sex.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it out of our wedding speech and vows and whatnot.
Yeah.
They don't need to know that. Just keep to why you're getting married in the first place. What's
Yeah.
special about each other? That kind of thing. Isn't that what a wedding is for?
I agree.
And then to get married.
I agree with that. I personally was at a wedding where they met on Tinder, and I think it was mentioned like twice. Like they didn't make a big deal out of it. I'm not sure if their marriage or their first part of the relationship went exactly like this. Frankly, I don't want to know because it's my cousin.
Ew.
But they did meet on Tinder, and no one made a big deal out of it. And if any of their friends knew of their the first beginnings of their relationship, then they never showed it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you have to make it a big deal. I think, like, if anything, it'll be an inside joke with all your friends at the wedding.
Also, they're your close friends. You should be able to trust them enough that they're not going to go and like go to all the people that don't agree with this and be like, hey, guess how they really met.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the one last thing I was gonna say. Is like, I think you should tell your story like the way you said it on this concern.
Except the
Yes,
Yeah.
except you're right.
Keep the
Except
fun
for
parts
the
out.
18 plus, the not safe for work stuff. Keep that out. But I would say, tell it, as frankly as you possibly can, right? Like you said, it's a pretty romantic situation where like you weren't really looking for anything, but then you found the one, right? That's kind of like the whole idea.
Yeah.
It's like any romantic comedy movie, any romantic movie.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. So why can't you just say it without all the,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
not safe for work stuff? And then, going back to what Matt Glass said, is like, yes, your friends might know the exact details, but let's say you put in one white lie. What kind of friend is gonna be like, ha, you liar? I know you didn't do that. Like, who's gonna do that?
Exactly.
Right? Like, so even if it's one white lie, right? Like, your friends are gonna laugh it off. And again, it would be an inside joke, like Gerald said. Like,
Yeah.
they're your friends. They're gonna laugh it off. No one's gonna stand up in the middle of your speech and just be like, you lie.
What kind of person?
Like, it's like,
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I just laugh like, ha, you liar.
And there's no one, even if you get into like the dates of when this all happened, could you imagine if someone was like, you're in the middle of your wedding vows and they're like, so, okay, what happened between this day and this day? No one's going to quiz you on your wedding.
Yeah,
right?
you're overthinking it. I'm happy for you. You met someone,
Yeah.
like Max said, in quarantine, during COVID. It's not,
It's not an easy thing.
Exactly. Right. And you found the one for you. Tell your wedding speech the way you think it's romantic without all the,
Without all the
stuff
sex
that-
stuff.
yeah. Nothing else to say about that.
No,
You're free.
I feel like that's, it's not, it's an awkward situation if you really think about it, but I don't think you need to really think about it.
I don't think you need to make it awkward.
No, you don't.
You can leave it nice and light and
It's
sweet.
it's a meet cute. You met on Tinder,
And I think you should really focus on the part where like you tell me about the true you and I'll tell you about the true
Yeah,
me.
that's a
I
good
think
one.
That's
I like
the
that,
one
yeah.
where you can really get into
That's
it.
a line from a movie, man. Like that could have been from a rom-com if I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that finish?
I feel like that wraps things up, and I ended on on a nicer note.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
happier now. I was gonna mention that it's good to end on a happier note.
Yeah. So should we wrap things up here?
Let's do it.
First one, I cheated on my exams. I don't think I'll ever succeed or be smart.
Mac, why don't you take that one?
Me?
Just wrap it up in like a sentence or two.
Yeah. So you cheated on your exams. You think you might have learning disabilities. Get help for that right away. Imposter syndrome is a real thing. It sounds like you have it. I'm not an expert. I know I also have it sometimes. Get help for that and work hard. Don't just go in thinking, well, you don't. It sounds like you don't think you're smart enough, but like it. I don't. For me personally, I think hard work pays off more than your initial IQ or smartness or whatever.
Nice. Second one. Which one was the second one? Brother and sister-in-law upset that I said my niece might have a girlfriend in the future, and they said I need to respect their parenting. Need advice on whether to push it or not. John?
Don't push it.
No. Drop it. Don't push it. All in all, respect their parenting.
Yeah.
Number 3. I was recently dumped, and I'm having a hard time with male friends shooting their shot during my recovery period. I think, as bad as it sounds, guys will be guys. And as long as you make it very clear that where the boundaries are, your friends that are there, to be your friends, or you can be, it's going to be very clear to which ones are which. Right.
And the coworker is a dumbass.
And the coworker was just straight up rude. Last but not least, I'm marrying my fiance, who was just supposed to be a booty call, and now I don't know what to say in my vows or speech.
Liar!
Just keep it to the romantic stuff.
Leave the booty out.
Exactly. And, make the wedding vow what the wedding vow is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like some sappy things that make people cry.
Get your friends on the same page.
If you're really concerned about it, talk to your friends.
They're gonna be on the same page.
Yeah.
They're your friends, right? It's not a sad. It's a happy thing. It's a happy occasion. They're to celebrate your love.
Exactly.
They're not gonna ruin it by adding all this stuff in there. So
yeah, cool. Well, Mac, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us or having me.
Yeah, of course. Hope you had a good time.
I did.
How was it?
Fun.
On this episode?
It was good. It was fun. Yeah,
It's fun. Yeah.
I still don't know if I'm close enough to the mic, but
You're good.
That wraps up episode 12.
And Gerald, do you have any concerns or questions or problems you want to give to us?
You know what? I don't, but if I did, I would send it
to
give some to us at gmail.com. Again, that's give some to us at gmail.com.
And again, it's just exactly the way it sounds. If try to add a lot of details, like you heard of last week, last week's episode, William, it makes us so we don't assume things.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening to episode 12 of the podcast. It's good to see all your beautiful faces, and I hope to see all of your beautiful faces next week.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And as always, stay kind to each other.